So recently, Joe Rogan and Shane Gillis were talking about the nastiest house on Hoarders, the poop house lady. Well, guess what? I flipped her house.
Disgusting!
Anyway, let's take a look at this shit hoarder. You ready?
Am I ready?
No one's ready.
Never.
I'm the only one I think who thinks this is hilarious.
How will we blur this out?
I think I'm just gonna.
Shane, someone's ready. I was ready. I was ready to flip this house.
I'm just gonna not show it because it's known as like
Yeah,
the worst story on Hoarders.
Don't show it. Don't show it. Just show Shane's face.
This lady's
Show your reactions.
shitting in bottles.
So what Joe Rogan is so afraid of showing is what we had to deal with. So when we bought this house in Bothell, Washington, we paid $145,000 for this house. We had an estimated rehab budget of $135,000, and we were planning on selling it for around $500,000. So how did we get it so cheap? Well, because it looked like this. What Joe Rogan is afraid of, I walked through.
Oh boy.
For a decade.
Oh my god.
Yeah, oh my God's right, Joe Rogan.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
That's the best part.
Is that her? That's the lady? Oh my god, there's shit everywhere.
That's her shit bucket. Yeah, wait, watch.
Watch.
That's her shit bucket? And then she's like, sometimes it gets too heavy, so I have to transfer buckets.
Christ, bro, I can't do this.
Oh, you can't do this, Joe Rogan? You should imagine when I walked into this house. So I committed to buying this house sight unseen. A wholesaler said it was the worst house he's ever seen. But if I could close on it quickly, he'd sell it to me for a great deal at $145,000. When I walked inside of the house, I had no idea what I was getting myself into. There was bottles and bottles of human feces. There were rats scurrying everywhere. There was dilapidated subfloors from all the rot and all the poop that just went right down to the basement. It was one of the most foulest houses you can ever imagine. And also, I had no idea that it was actually being filmed on the show Hoarders.
I can't do this.
Look at
Oh
it,
my god, dude, shut the fuck up.
She lives in a shit house.
Look at that full shit house.
There's shit everywhere, dude.
Oh my god.
Oh, there was shit everywhere. I will definitely verify that. I love that Joe Rogan and Seth, they can't believe what they see. What they don't know is this is my daily life. I have gone into so many homes just like this. This is not even the worst house I've ever flipped. Their minds are blown right now. Try rehabbing one of these.
Oh my god, I'm gonna throw up.
Look at her shit
I
bucket.
can't look.
Bro,
I can't look.
You have to look. Look at her eating soup, dude.
Jesus.
I got bad news for Shane. That wasn't just soup. There was human feces in some of those bowls. So as they were microwaving what they were eating, they were warming up their own feces and bowls. This was one of the most disgusting houses you've ever seen.
On a pile of shit, dude.
What the fuck, man?
So this is the interview here. She goes, I can't be the worst hoarder you've ever seen. And they're like,
Look at this sign. It says, I am okay.
yeah.
What do you...
It has something to do with the smell.
Yeah, this is the problem when you let kids think that
I
they're
guess
okay.
so, because I thought it was due to the mold and dust. You have to tell me this.
There was nothing okay about this house besides the purchase price. Now, I don't get afraid of flipping any type of house, but this definitely was one I thought I bit off more than I could chew. So when Joe Rogan looked like he was gonna puke, when we brought in our demo guys, it was so bad, we cut out all the windows and just ripped them out, and the guys were just heaving the garbage into dumpsters, and they were throwing up. It was one of the nastiest trash houses we've ever dealt with.
You have to tell me this, because
You don't have to. I mean, some people would argue, how do you not know that feces in the house is bad?
But wait, I don't smell it anymore.
It's an extremely dangerous house.
I will fucking throw
Dude,
up.
she's so matter of fact.
What do you think she's gonna throw up?
Like the entire time, people are like, she's like, yeah, there's mold in the walls. That's why it smells like that. And they're like, are you sure it's not the feces, bottles of feces and urine everywhere? And she's like, what? No, that can't be it. Like, no, that's definitely it. She's like, well, that's news to me.
There was all different types of smells going on. Shane's right. The smell definitely came from the human feces everywhere, but there was also mold. There was also rotted pizza boxes and rotted food, and there was an abundance. There was a sea of rats going in and out of this house. This house smelt like all the bad things that you could have imagined, and they just packed it into one small space. And when you walked in the front door, you could taste the smell inside your mouth.
Imagine if this was fake, and then they conned us, and that's like chocolate milk and...
This was not fake. I verified it. I met the lady.
Gone.
Maybe she's like a really good actress.
Not an actress. She kept coming back.
So all her food's contaminated. She doesn't have a refrigerator. She said
bread on the ground that's covered in mold. At one point, they're like, "You can't eat that moldy bread." She's like, "I'm gonna take the fucking mold off." Obviously.
Obviously.
at the very end, they're like,
Poop everywhere.
shit everywhere, dude.
What do you think her like digestive tract is like?
I can tell you what her digestive tract looked like. It was inside the bottles that we bought.
I'm going to go ahead and eat some of the contaminated food, and then the party's over. Because when somebody goes on intervention, they want to get high one last time.
She's like, hold on. Let me get one more night. I'm going to go ahead back in there and eat some contaminated food. And they're like, and then she goes, and then the party's over. They're like,
What do you think it's a party to eat contaminated food?
I thought the party was over for me when I bought this house. When I walked in, I thought this was a disaster. It was not good, you guys. I was freaking out because I got a call after we got into demo from my contractor. He goes, turn on the TV, turn on the TV, turn on this channel. I turn it on, and there's my house that I just purchased, which was a mystery to me. It was covered in poop. It was covered in rats. It was covered in mold. And I just thought it was a really bad house, but at no point as a flipper do I want my potential buyer seeing this. We want to make it look good, we want to do a good renovation, but I don't want them seeing what I had to go through. We want to give them a nice finished product, which we did. When I turn on the TV, there's the poop lady, and she's pouring human feces into my yard. How was I ever going to sell this? I was freaking out. I went right down to the city to talk to them, and the city goes, "You're the crazy person that just bought the poop house lady?" And I knew I was in deep trouble.
he looks at her and he goes, I've been in there eating poop for 12 years. And he goes, oh. Right, she takes the guy's soul, dude.
I thought this house took my soul. It was really hard for her to give up stuff. I felt bad for her. She kept coming back and looking for more things.
How is eating contaminated food a party?
Why the does it matter? I've been eating poop for 12 years.
12 years. So we bought this property for $145. We put in the renovation. We had a lot of work to do, a lot of trash out. But once we got the trash out with flipping homes, once you remove the nastiness, you got the landscape to work. We rewired this house, we replumbed this house, we pulled for permits, we put new windows in, we put a new roof on, and then we finished the house from a 2-bedroom, 2-bath into a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, fully finishing out the basement. And speaking of the basement, this basement was almost as bad as the top floor. I couldn't even figure out a way to get into the basement, and once I finally did, the trash was taller than me. They cut out holes inside the kitchen, they were just dropping stuff in there. And after 12 years, it was packed. It was packed of poop, it was packed of old food, it was packed of whatever she didn't want, she found was too disgusting. So imagine that. She's living up there, she has a lot of things that she's okay living with, and she dropped the nastiest of the nasty in the basement.
It seems like she's suffering the effects of her poor diet. Like the inflammation in her face from poop eating.
At the end, they
Don't eat
bulldozed the
poop.
house and put her in an assisted living home. It's not like a happy ending of Hoarders.
They said the house was beyond
The
contaminated.
city had to get involved and destroy the land.
That is false. They did not destroy the land. I recreated the land. We ripped all the soil off the top of that property. We went down about 12 inches. We re-poured all new topsoil, we installed a beautiful yard, and the house went from this overgrown, nasty poop house into a beautiful renovation with immaculate landscaping. I've been flipping homes now for 18 years. I have seen the worst of the worst, and I will say the poop house lady's house isn't even number one. I bought worse than that. When you buy what everyone else is terrified to buy, and you can have the right plan, you can make some serious money. People are terrified of this house. They thought the city had bulldozed it. No, we fixed it. We took it from the nasty poop house lady, and we created a beautiful home for someone. It went from a small house that was only 1,000 square feet, and we turned it into 2,000 square feet. Went from 2-bed, 2-bath, we turned it into 4-bed, 3-bath. And most importantly, we got rid of the poop. After we sold the whole house, by not being afraid, we made nearly $100,000 $100,000 on this house, which back then in 2009 was a huge profit. So when you're flipping houses, you might get some shitty houses, but if you have the right plan, you can create the right revenue. So if you like this content and you want to see more of my shitty houses, like and subscribe below. What blew their mind, I see on the daily basis. Stay tuned.